This is the Kitchen Sink WP Podcast, episode 409.
I program my home computer.
We have a server crash. 404 error. Page not found. Links aren't working. System is crashing. System is crashing. System is crashing.
Your old HTML website. Barely alive. We have the technology. We have WordPress. A new website. Better than it was before. Better. Stronger.
Faster.
Why, hello everybody, this is Adam Silver, the host of the Kitchen Sink WP podcast. Thanks for being here. Let's get started. All right, upcoming events, there are none because it's the end of the year, and there's no work camps until February, but there'll be some other stuff, I'm sure, in January to talk about. So we'll come back to that next month. All right, moving on, segment 1 in the news, 2 things here. WordPress 5.9 Beta 4 is out. It's still under development. Do not run this on a production site, of course. There's some highlights. 20 more bugs have been fixed. Bundled themes, fixed duplicate CSS rules in 2021 theme, customizer, etc., etc. So you can always help by testing for bugs, and there's a link in the show notes on how to do that. Also, because it's the end of the year, but why not? Acquisitions have happened, always, of course. WP Engine has acquired Brian Gardner's Frost and is now open to the public. For those who don't know what Frost is a block-based theme that will now be freely distributed and focused specifically on full-site editing. With the new version of WordPress 5.9, FSE is all about full-site editing. So, people who paid for Frost, I've heard, are getting refunded. So that's pretty cool. I think it's the right thing to do as well. It's kind of neat. So I think that was it in the news. Yeah, that's it in the news. Just those 2 short things there. Moving on to segment 2, the meat potatoes of this week's show. 2021 year in review. So after hearing back from a few people regarding last week's episode about the things you could do in the last 2 weeks of the year, and seeing and reading some other friends sharing whatnot, I was asked, and I'm going to go ahead and do it, share my 2021 year-end review as well. Starting with some statistics, some financials. And I mentioned this, I think, also last week. I made a little bit over half this year versus 2020. So, yeah, even though there's about a week left, I'm pretty sure the few clients who owe me money, it's not going to move the needle to make a big difference there, sadly. It sounds terrible, and it kind of is, of course. I mean, financially, it was a much leaner year for sure. But my expenses were down as well, also by half, give or take, because the team that I work with, everyone's a contractor, a project-based 1099 for the most part. So if I don't have anything for them to do, I don't have to pay them. They're not salaried employees. If that was the case for me, if I was set up as a different entity kind of thing, like an S Corp, if I had employees, W-2, I would be a little bit more concerned for sure, but there's that. So in the past few weeks and months, I've wondered what the difference was, even when I did the evaluation June, July, and I could see it. It's easy to see. Less projects, as well as less prospecting, and that's all on me. And I'm going to chalk it up to a few things. First and foremost, I think I thought the flow of work from 2020 would just roll into 2021. Which was an assumption I should not have made, as well as my lack of planting seeds and prospecting. It's unfortunate. I just kind of have a few small bouts of some burnout. Not ideal. But that being said, I'm working on some things, niching down for 2022 already. I'll mention those actually coming up in a little bit in the future here in another section here. But I'm working on things. I'm working through some stuff. So all of that. It's the fact of the matter. I can't change it. All I can do is learn from it. That's all we ever can do. So I'm hopeful and optimistic that 2022 will be a strong year. It won't be too tough to be stronger than 2021. I'll tell you that. So anyway, more on some negative news before I go to positive. Things that did not go well. I failed 3 times to get any personal traction on my own video project pantry idea for the kitchen sink. Those deep dive videos. I gave myself 3 challenges over the year, and yeah, that didn't work out so well. Why? I don't know exactly. Burnout, lack of motivation. I have the ideas, and I just need to figure that out as well. I did also take a break from using a planner, which started out pretty well. I was kind of feeling stressed by using this planner that I used to use, and I'm all in on the productivity planner. And then I took a break, and then I got way too loose in managing my own time and goals. So, of course, see the video pantry from the previous bullet that I just mentioned. It's a balance. Having things written down too much is stressful. Having things not written down enough also stressful. And, but it's kind of weird to explain that way. But, I did also check out 2 other planners. One full planner, which was way too hard to use, in my opinion. And I'm currently reading the Bullet Journal book right now. And I'm thinking about maybe going that route, but I think it also might be too much for what I need and want. So, again, I'm looking back at the productivity planner from Intelligent Change, but I was going to order one this week, but they're sold out. So we'll see what I do moving forward. I need some sort of structure and planning, yes, but I don't want to stress about the structure and planning as well. And the other thing I failed at was I did not land the 3 to 5 new client projects that I wanted to by the end of the year for Q4. I did some prospecting. I did some cold outreach and emails. I looked for a whole bunch of clients. I sent off I think I found 30 potential clients, and I sent them each an email sequence or a sequence of emails through my system, and nothing converted. So that was kind of a bummer. I'm not going to lie about that. So there's some negatives there, to be honest. And moving on to the positives, things that went well, website growth and social media, just kind of overall organic things. Kitchen Sink website saw a 100% increase in new users per month, so month to month over the year. A weird stat that I looked at from Google Analytics was that the website saw a 6,200% growth in sessions. And I think that was because I think the server that I was hosting on at the time had some sort of wonkiness, or maybe I don't know what happened there. Maybe some bot was loading my site a lot. So I am not going to take that one as a de facto issue there for that. The concierge website saw a 140% increase in new users visiting the site, with 300% in sessions versus previous year. And I think that's true because I did some more tweeting and sharing, and I had the blog started over there. Twitter followers grew on the personal account as well as Kitchen Sink, though I'm not exactly sure by how much on KitchensinkWP because I didn't write it down. I do know that my personal Twitter account went over 3,000, which is about 250 more than I started with. So I'm going to take a better snapshot at the end of this next week to track the next year. I'm curious. I want to know more on these stats. So there's that. Also, on the things that went well, I let 5 or 6 domains expire. So that's kind of a thing for me. I really wanted to keep one of them, but it was just time to let it go. So, and I do have 3 or 4 new domains and ideas in the hopper, but I'm just making sure I can commit to my time and the resources to see them actually happen, because that's the last thing I want. Is I don't want that extra additional burden and stress and spend of money for no real reason. So, also things that went well. A few months ago, I started block scheduling on a private calendar that only I see, not my family, not my concierge calendar. It's kind of working, and that's what I may end up doing here. Instead of the productivity planner, I might just use the block scheduling and maybe a combination of that with the Pomodoro timer to gamify it. So I think that's interesting. It is working for me. It gives me a structure that I think does work and has some flexibility. I also created a couple sites that we clone and start all new projects with. It's just a basic, the template site that we use now with the stack that we consistently use, a Beaver Builder and all the tools and plugins. And it seems such an easy thing that we should have done a long time ago. And it was super easy. I just finally did it, probably a month ago, maybe 2 months ago. And it's simple. It's awesome. We also created a few demo sites for a niche that I'm targeting in 2022, making a turnkey offer a real possibility for a specific area of the interwebs, if you will. So I'm happy that is going forward and should be ready to start selling and prospecting for that specifically, probably in 2 weeks from now, if that. So it's pretty cool. I did take one mini sabbatical down to the beach. I didn't work at all, 3.5 days. Really need more of those to stave off burnout. I meant to take 2, but I broke my foot. So I didn't feel like traveling with crutches and a boot. So didn't actually take that other one off in August. That was the plan then. But anyway. And lastly here, on the things that went well, I've had 2 conversations recently in the last quarter with 2 larger agencies where they're looking to use some of their outsource. Not outsource. They have overflow work. Sorry, they want to white label my services for them. Both calls went really well. One agency is really big, and I think they're so big that they can't figure out who should be my lead contact and how to use us best. The other agency is looking really good and moving forward, and we have a call next week with the CEO. Very promising. And of course, I think I'm going to make this a topic in an episode next year, see how white labeling went, good, bad, and ugly, etc., and lessons learned. So I'm looking forward to that. And that might be really a really good thing for the agency as a whole. So there's the things that went bad and the things that went well. Goals for 2022 are pretty simple. I want to have a better method of sourcing clients, niching down. Sadly, my main way was in personal events, going out and doing things and speaking, hoping that comes back in 2022. I want to make sure that my contracts for new projects is solid, not missing any clauses, because I have one contract out there and they haven't paid. It's been a long time, and I really can't. I can't go back and put the dormancy clause in. I can't exit it. Anyway, kind of unfortunate. I'm looking to launch the other podcasts, plural, that I've been working on very slowly over the last couple of years. It's not brain surgery. It's not hard to do. I have content. I just need to do it. And I'm toying with the idea of a network, because I have a plethora of ideas, and a buddy of mine is looking for work, and he loves podcasting as much as I do. So maybe there's something there. I'd like to learn a language, 2 languages. One, a computer language, I don't know. I keep thinking about, what's that language called all of a sudden? Python. That's the language, of course. And I'm thinking also like a foreign language, speaking foreign language wise, or kind of just relearning Spanish and or Polish to speak to my mom. Kind of neat. I think it'd be nice to surprise her. I think I'm going to let I'm going to do it. I'm going to let another few domains expire, because they need to. And I'd like to knock down my business debt by about 50%, which is a good stretch goal for me. I think it's doable, and that's the goal there. And lastly, I want to take at least 3 vacations of 5 days, and for one of those, leave the laptop at home. It's very specific there. So there's that. And lastly here, many people have a word of the year. I have one as well. I think my word's going to be open. I'm open to change, open to opportunity, and open for business with a capital B. I want to work on the business, not in the business. I want to see it grow, and be open for whatever that entails as well. So that's it for that. What are your goals? Any way I can help you, let me know. By all means, I really want to help you. I want all of us to succeed and grow and do well, so there's that. Let me know. I'm here for you. All right, segment 3, tip and tool of the week. Lastly here, there's an article about Matt Mullenweg. It was written over on the Protocol website, entitled, "Can Matt Mullenweg Save the Internet?" Take a listen. Take a read. It's a nice read. Check it out. I highly recommend it. And that is the tip and tool of the week. And that's it. I'm going to wrap it up here. If you have any questions, go ahead, send it in via email, adam@KitchensinkWP.com, or use the speak pipe function of the website. You can support the show. You can become a Patreon. I would love that. You can sponsor the show. There's a form on the website. Thanks for listening. See you next week. Now go out and do some awesome things with WordPress. All right? Bye-bye.